right. We'd like to welcome Collin Morikawa into the Hero World Challenge. Oh. Okay, sorry. 1 minute. You just get to hang out with me.
Perfect.
Yeah. How the dogs?
Just let you guys know we got another one in here. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
you did.
Yeah, we brought our dog. Just one. But yeah, we only have one. But he's here, like in Albany, in Bahamas.
I mean, are you going to bring him to the course?
I think so. I think Cat's gonna.
Does it mean anything?
No, it's like a wood in Hawaii. It's like a type of wood.
Okay.
Which sounds cool, man.
I love it.
Yeah.
Do you know who J.J. Watt is?
Yeah.
He named his son Koa.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
It's a sick name.
Yeah. Do you imagine, like, on your football team, Koa?
Yeah.
Watt. I hope this isn't being recorded or live streamed.
Good. Yeah. Then day to day. Played yesterday. Just hit a bunch of balls.
That's all we care about.
No, I'd make it to the Netflix.
I mean, you just wanted to be on TV for a while.
It was a harder day for me to do. It was a harder day for me to fucking hit people outside. Oh yeah, I know.
I'm still mad about that.
I was like, we're meant to just be on.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. Thank you for waiting, Collin. We'd like to welcome Collin Morikawa into the Hero World Challenge interview room today. You're making your first start since winning your 6th PGA Tour title at the Zozo Championship during the FedEx Cup Fall. Can you give us a little bit of information on your game and how you're playing right now?
Yeah, does it feel good to win? I mean, there's no better feeling, you know, just kind of knowing that the pieces you're putting together. And to be honest, like, I don't think the pieces I had were going to really, you know, make a winning formula. I had to make a couple changes, kind of figure out a few things, and it was nice to just see the same and similar shots and have the same misses that I've had in the past. So winning is winning. There's no better feeling. Hopefully there's much more in the future, and it was nice to get that off the back and you guys not keep asking me about when I'm going to win next. So thank you.
You finished T5 in 21 and 6th in 2022. What do you like about this course here?
I've actually had some really good rounds. Obviously, the first year blew a big lead, and that happened. And then last year came right off our wedding, and just kind of probably didn't practice for a couple weeks and figured that out. So I've had some good rounds out here, and that's kind of just good momentum. Look, it's a fun week. You know, we're in the Bahamas. You're having a very relaxed attitude, mindset, but you still want to win and kind of cap off this last couple months on a good note.
If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll get you a microphone. We'll go right here to Dylan.
How are you feeling? We saw you at the Netflix Cup, but it was obviously a DNS there for you. What's the update on your injury front?
Yeah, started hitting balls yesterday, so that's good. But you know what? I'm swinging, and I'm not really thinking about the back right now, which is great. You know, it's not fun being in that position, and you know, I've talked to other players about this. It's just not good. I mean, I'm 26, and I've had, you know, now this is twice in the past kind of handful of months. But it's something that we're going to be on top of. We kind of know what to do. It's not like I'm doing anything ridiculous in the gym. It's just, I think it's understanding how my body works and making sure I protect it in the long term. It hasn't been a fun past 2 weeks, knowing that, you know, I want to go out. I was planning to use this kind of off season to possibly gain speed and whatnot, but hopefully, you know, we kind of turn that around and use it to protect myself for the long run, and I think we're going to do a really good job kind of with everyone behind me.
So do you feel like you have an understanding of what led to the injury and how to hopefully prevent it from happening again? Yeah,
we knew why it happened 3 months ago, and not that we did the same thing, but just kind of, you know, trying to push certain limits here and there. You know, to be honest, I almost have to take, like, not just 1 step back or 2 steps back with this. It's like I need to take 10 steps back and start, like, as if I were a baby, just reprogramming how my body works, right? Simply sitting in a chair is, you know, I have bad posture, and I do things very improperly that isn't good for the long term of my body, or of my spine, essentially. So look, it's, you know, you get in habits. We look at our phone, we curl up in our bed, it is what it is, right? But if I want to do this for a long time and I want to do it really well, it's, there are things that you can just slowly change, but it has to start with simply just like the way I move my body around day to day.
Over here, Joy.
Collin, given that Victor has won this tournament the last 2 years, have you decided to throw him out of your house this time just to break the run?
No. I gave him the Master Veteran this year.
Oh my
I've had
God.
the Master Veteran the past 2 years, and that hasn't worked out for me, but it has for him. So I decided, and I texted him yesterday to make sure he was taking the Master Veteran. We showed up at like 3 a.m. today, so it was nice to find my little guest room in the corner, and he's got everything he needs.
But
This will be the last year, though. If he wins this will be the last year. I am going to go find someone else to stay with. Something has to change. Something has to give.
Can I just ask you about the kind of run that he is in? We saw it in you as well. But just talk to us about the kind of run that he is having, the kind of form he is having right now.
Yeah, I think you saw it when we, a couple of us, and obviously, Justin saw Matt Wolf, when we all turned pro in 19. Like there was a lot of, whatever you want to call it, hype. But you could see that we had the potential to just be great golfers, right? And what he's done kind of this entire year, especially starting at Memorial, it doesn't surprise me at all because I've seen it. I've seen it for years on. I've seen it in college. I've seen it even when we first turned pro. Yeah, he didn't win that first summer we turned pro, but the consistency was there, right? And you could tell the golf game. And we know what our weaknesses are. Like, when you don't know what your weaknesses are, you can't really improve. You don't know how high what bar you can reach, right? But early on, I think we both knew what we needed to work on. And as we kind of tinker and we learn and just experiment, and that's the thing. Being out here on tour, you learn so much that you start to figure out what works, what doesn't. We can see it in his golf game. Putting's great, chipping's great now, and it's just fun to watch. It's motivating for me because, I want to get back out there. I want to get back up top and be with these guys contending week in and week out. And I think I have a great opportunity to do that, especially heading into the beginning of next year.
Over here, Rex.
Colin, Jordan was just in here talking about the Ryder Cup, and he said it kind of came down to a couple of different things, not having played a lot in the leading up to the matches. But he said it boiled down to it's just hard to win overseas. Is that as simple as you allow yourself to think, or have you kind of thought about how maybe you could have individually performed better?
I 100% could have performed better. The golf, well, no, I know, but I think all of us, like we didn't play great golf. They played phenomenal golf, and we played very, very below average, right? The golf game I had in Japan, unfortunately, was a lot different than what I had at the Ryder Cup, but that's because of changes I made and things that I had to figure out. I wish I had made those changes earlier, but that's golf, right? Look, for me, I do understand the part and the aspect of wanting to play a little bit sooner. I agree with that, but I didn't want to believe into the history books that it was so tough to win over there, but it really is. The fans over there, you draw so much energy from them, and that's just a big part of golf that you don't really get on a weekly basis when we're at these tournaments, right? They're all kind of rooting for everyone, and if they're following your group, they're not going to be booing you. But I think it's a mindset thing of how we step in. We were Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon when Sam and I walked out there, like it was like an FU to everyone. We had to. We were down 1 million points. At that point, Victor and Ludwig had played 10 holes that morning. Like, we had to go out there and just absolutely just not give anything to them, right? Not give no energy to the fans. Like, we had to be just, excuse me, but like we had to be assholes. And not that we didn't believe that we could do it and we didn't have the right mindset coming in as a team, like stepping out Friday morning and as the week led in. But it's just different. Like, it's a different thing going on an away turf, and that was my first one, and I hope I have many more in the future where one time's enough, right? It's like I would like to think that one time's enough for my back. It wasn't. We're doing every necessary step. Hopefully for me, this one time playing this away match, everyone figures out what to do. Obviously it's been more than one time though.
Over here.
Collin, there's so much happening in world golf right now. Mergers, no mergers, delayed mergers. lots of money being put on the table for players to join or not join. So in these kind of circumstances, how difficult it is for young established stars like yourself and maybe Victor and a few others to keep focused only on golf and not get distracted or kind of pay more attention to what's happening off the course?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it right now is in the rumor mill. It's all just kind of under the table stuff of saying, you know, this guy's getting this guy's doing this. You know, about a year ago, especially the beginning of this year, I kind of just, it is what it is, right? When I had an opportunity to possibly turn pro, whether it was my junior or senior year in college, golf was never going to go away. And golf still isn't going to go away, right? Yes, we've been split up. Yes, we've had these, let's call it issues. But hopefully in the long run, it turns out to be for the better. And at the end of the day, it's like I'm so happy to be playing golf and to, like, this week, you don't know how excited I am to literally be swinging a golf club right now and working on my game, because this is something I love to do, right? So with everything, for me, it's just, yeah, I do take myself out of it. I'm not on the board. I'm not in, you know, any of the committees, so I don't have to necessarily sit in these meetings for multiple hours and try and figure it out. I just kind of get the updates here and there and go on with my life, and yeah, it's been pretty enjoyable for me.
Even before you picked up those majors, you said that playing golf was far more important than thinking about the tons of money that were being offered to players. Does it still say the same way, despite many others just picking up, like fattening their bank balances hugely?
I mean, I would trade winning many, many more times for the money that's being offered or the money that you win at a tournament. I don't know what I won in Japan, but the moment making the last putt, knowing that I won, like, that's, you can't trade that in, right? You always ask, I think when you ask great athletes, like, would they rather win? Do they like winning more, or do they like losing? At the end of the day, that feeling that you get, that satisfaction of either option you choose when it does happen, is the best feeling in the world. And there's no amount of money that you can trade in for that, because it's just, like, that's who I am as a competitor, and, like, that's who I am as an athlete, of just being able to go out there and saying I beat everyone. Like, that is, like, the best feeling ever. Like, there's no better feeling than that. I don't know how to describe that to other people, but that's truly the fact of, like, I mean, you know, you hear what Victor said, I think, at the DP World, right, at the race to Dubai. It's like, the money, it's nice. We live a phenomenal life. Trust me, we live very, very nicely. And yeah, sometimes money does help, and I'm not saying that's a problem, but right now where we're at, I'm living an amazing life, and all I want to do is just enjoy it.
Dave?
Yeah, Collin, could you just maybe briefly sum up what changes you have incorporated that have meant so much to, I guess, getting your game where you want it to be?
Yeah, right after the Ryder Cup, or actually right before the Ryder Cup, I had to, I let go of my longtime coach, Rick Sessinghaus, for, we've been working for 18 years, just over 18 years, which wasn't easy. I mean, he's more than just a coach. He's one of my really good friends. He's someone I've always looked up to, someone that's been there for every step of my life, essentially, not just in golf, but just kind of living life, right, as someone that's growing up as a kid, which wasn't easy, and sometimes things happen like that, but 18 years is a long time, and there's, not many relationships that I can say with a lot of people that I've had relationships for 18 years, and real relationships where I'm talking to them every week, right? Yeah. So that wasn't easy at all. But, I had to do it. I just felt like it was time to make a change at some point. What I saw over kind of the past 2 years wasn't to my expectations and standards and goals what I wanted. So, I brought on Mark Blackburn. Wow, I'm struggling with his name. I brought on Mark right before Zozo, got a little work in, and, obviously it's no better way to start. But this is just the tip of the iceberg for us to kind of dig in and really know what we're going to do.
Was there one, I'm sort of like looking for one technical thing or thing that you changed?
For me, it's going back to hurting my back, right? Understanding the foundation of what or why things work. I always like to know the why. I always ask a lot of questions. So if I can understand the actual fundamentals of everything, I can go like how I've been going, 2 weeks of no golf, show up hopefully this week and have a chance to win.
Go back to Matt.
Yeah, Collin, you mentioned the renewed focus on your body and kind of focus on longevity. Just wondering, as you have this month after this tournament before Century, what do you plan on doing? How do you plan on spending the time to kind of get yourself ready for that?
Just working with the team, kind of having a program together and making sure that we stick to it. I mean, it's every day, just making sure I do the right things, making sure I move properly. Like, nothing's taken for granted anymore. You know, like people always talk about, oh, you know, I picked up my dog, I picked up my kid, and I hurt my back. Like, I don't want any of that in my future. So we're going to make sure that, you know, I really start crawling properly and then walking, and then, you know, we're not sprinting. Even though I like to get to the finish line as quick as possible, it's going to be hard for me to stay patient, but I know I have to if I want to do this right.
Any additional questions for Collin? Great. Thanks so much, Collin. Appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.